So now I'm really curious to see how much water leaked through that roof. Let's go and find out. Look at that, first floor is dry. Let's see what it looks like upstairs. Did a better job of keeping that water out than I would imagine.
As delighted as I am with the relative dry inside the building, the relative dry outside the building doesn't last long, and before I have the first piece hung, it's sprinkling. I'm unable to finish as the rain steadies to a shower, so I'll retreat to the relative shelter of the overhang and work on the door and window hardware. We purposefully installed the first floor windows to swing out, rather than give up any interior space. The second floor windows open inwards, as they would otherwise be out of reach. With the latches battened, we give the roof decking a chance to dry, take a weekend trip to northern Michigan to extend our ski season a couple more days. It's so glorious being out on the slopes with your family and friends, enchanted by the winter wonderland. Before you know it, we're back picking through the parts pile, installing the rim boards and fascia, and then the railing for the stairs. After screwing in the bracing, we direct our attention to the roof and insulation. Our plan is to allow air to flow between the decking and the insulation, using bubble foil insulation to radiate heat and a wooden spacer to allow for evaporation. The bubble foil insulation is easy to work with, lightweight, and inexpensive. The 400-foot roll is not quite enough to cover the whole roof twice, so I double up the areas that matter most. I'm just finishing the bubble foil as Molly arrives home from work. We're both excited because this means we can install the last window, which we need to cut into the north wall. After measuring and marking the opening, it's time for a few plunge cuts with a circular saw. A little persuasion from the mallet, and just like that, we have an opening.
What will it take to persuade you to hit the like button?
I hoist it into place and hold it in position as Molly fastens the trim. I get the latches together as the tree frogs start singing. There's just a little bit of light left for us to sow some grass seed in the new pasture.
Come on, George.
It's one of those lovely spring days where the morning is crisp, and then as the day rolls on and everything around you slowly picks up heat, by the afternoon we have what many Midwesterners refer to as t-shirt weather. The styrofoam insulation board fits snugly between the straps, and before the end of the day, I'm able to start on the metal roof, hanging the first pieces in the waning sunlight and picking right back up again in the morning. I'm working my way around the building, trimming, bending, lapping, and attaching each piece as I go. You really cannot have too many ladders in this situation. Just about every step of the process, from initial measurement all the way through trimming off the ends, requires standing in a different place. Here is a bit of real-time learning. Yikes! I'm glad the dogs had more sense than me to steer clear of this near disaster. Did I mention this could be dangerous? This is my first time installing a metal roof, and although the footprint is modest, it's essentially a 2-story building with a steeply pitched roof. This is so much more dangerous than the rest of this project. I have experience on roofs and probably should be wearing my fall restraint, but lacking a convenient anchor, I'm resigned to push through without, reminding me of the number of experienced builders I've known seriously injured by falling from rooftops. Rain is in the forecast for tomorrow, and I really don't want all the insulation to get wet, so the pressure is on. It's just 8 pieces and a couple of ridge caps, right? Suppressing my fear, I'm focused on the mission and screw by screw, hole by hole, sheet by sheet, we're getting closer and closer to our objective. I'm trimming the final piece as twilight sets in, with all but the ridgeline under roof. And a steady downpour ends the day.
But we can all still shine on. Just hit that subscribe button.
I'm checking for leaks the following morning, but the place is dry. One more day of working on trim, and after the ridge is capped and the ends are cut off, our metal roof is complete. Despite the struggle, we're pleased with the result, and even though I learned a few things not to do, I feel the durability and polish that it brings to the building is a good return for the $1,000 and several days spent.
But here it is. It's finally all put together. We were able to spray it down with bleach and water and get most of the mold and mildew and yuck that had accumulated from sitting under the tarps all winter off. And now it's finally ready for stain. So this is a very exciting day. It's going to transform the way the monkey looks.
With all the prep work behind us, it's finally time for staining.
Hey guys!
Molly and I are both thrilled by the generous offer from her mom, Trish, to pick up a brush and help for the day. The stain is starting to flow, and we're having the best time, laughing, listening to music, and catching up. This stain is actually kind of a dream to work with, and water cleanup. We would be having a lot less fun with a solvent-borne stain and our faces in respirators. Looking around the region, it's common to see barns, cribs, rick houses, and fences all painted black. These finishes age gracefully and can go for many years before showing any signs of weathering. Between the pollen coating everything and the moss, mold, and mildew growing upon it, surfaces can look dingy in a hurry. Black hides the grime. Every crusty punk and stagehand knows that. So, all of our buildings are black. Also, eliminating any busy internal accents from the finish allows the silhouette to speak more clearly. How the cabin relates to the landscape and the other buildings will ultimately determine how successful this project is. We could be saving time spraying all this stain, but we'd be missing out on all the fun, hanging out, and being part of the process. Didn't anyone read Tom Sawyer? We're spending a delightful day together, and at its end, we've got 3/4 of the first coat completed. The following day, Molly and I complete the last side, and then I spend a couple more days on the second coat and staining the doors and windows. I wrapped the foundation with some trim, and we caulked and stained it for a finished look. For the interior, we are whitewashing the walls, and we have a light brown finish to use on the floor. It will be a real test because the first floorboards have been sitting outside for a long time now, and they've accumulated many blemishes along the way. Upon completion of the floor, it's looking pretty rough. What miracles a little stain and urethane can perform. Now it looks fresh and clean. And with it dry, the interior is done. We're spending a couple of days adding a patio to surround the cabin, extending the living area and making it easier to keep things clean. We're adding a timber border, planting some evergreens to add a little definition to the front.
It may seem like this is the end with the finishing touches applied, but it's really just the beginning.
And with each occasion, the cabin adapts to find new ways to meet the moment. Change is always right around the corner. Sometimes it happens when you least expect it. For children, change is native. Play is a natural extension of that. In pretending to be a firefighter or a nurse, child is opening their minds up to new possibilities. As adults, change can be difficult, sometimes even foreign, coming with our own set of experiences and expectations, but for us, these experiences and expectations often narrow our possibilities. They sort us into categories of things that we're good at.
Whatever.
Get serious now.
And things that we're bad at.
I hate this job. I hate that job.
That's the worst job.
Worst job.
That's the worst job.
Naturally, we gravitate to the things that we're good at, drawing confidence from the success and growing resistant to exposing ourselves to failure and rejection, and as a result, stunting our growth. When we engage in complex problems like this that require a lot of collaboration and problem solving, it also brings us closer together as we form common experience in the struggle and form durable memories, the memories that form our collective story, unfolding chapter by chapter, defining the seasons of our lives. We ordered a cabin kit, but what we received was an experience, an opportunity to grow together. And that is this cabin's secret purpose.